The story begins with a portrayal of a vast and structured interstellar governing body called the Galactic Accord. This council represents the collective authority of multiple alien species who have long since established their unity through treaties and systemic order. Most notably, the Treaty of Systems Control finalized in the year 3457. By this point, the galaxy is tightly controlled, diplomatically monitored, and regulated to avoid the chaos of war or unregulated technological growth. Earth, ever the latecomer, enters this already stabilized galactic community with a troubling reputation. Humanity's long and violent history, its unpredictable culture, and aggressive innovation are seen as risks to the order the Accord maintains. Despite possessing technological competence and interstellar capabilities, Earth is seen as a species that can't be trusted to behave, especially not in a system that values conformity, compliance, and peace through mutual submission. As a result, Earth is effectively exiled through diplomatic language. The Council offers Earth no voting rights, no seats in the Assembly, and no authorization to deploy military or scientific operations beyond its home system. The decree is framed in formal political language and active containment, not war. This decree is what the humans call the Containment Clause. The phrase is deliberately clinical and unassuming, yet for the humans it is clear what it truly represents: a forced silence, a political death sentence, and a warning not to grow too loud in the affairs of the galaxy. The Accord hopes this will quietly push Earth into isolation, allowing the Council to continue its operations without human interference. On paper, Earth appears to comply. They withdraw their diplomats, deactivate their beacons, shut down all major off-world transmissions, and retreat beyond the Kuiper Line, the solar system's furthest edge. To most observers in the galaxy, Earth has gone dark. But darkness, as history has shown time and again, doesn't always mean defeat. In humanity's case, it meant preparation. The only individual to raise a concern is Admiral Saren of the Vokari Syndicate, a veteran strategist who, unlike most, understands the psychology of conflict. During a council meeting, Saren famously warns the Assembly, "When a predator goes silent, you'd better hope it's not hunting." Saren's remark hints at what many of the galaxy's elite overlook. Earth didn't go silent out of submission. It went silent by choice. In the shadows of this imposed exile, humanity begins building. No longer needing to deal with diplomacy or appease galactic rules, human minds are freed from restraint. Beneath the surface of the moon, in the red soil of Mars, and even in deep space voids outside mapped hyperspace lanes, humanity constructs what the Accord had feared from the beginning. A future they control. They begin to work on everything the Council had banned or deemed too dangerous: assisted command units that evolve over time, gravitational weaponry that manipulates mass on a battlefield, organic whole materials capable of healing and reshaping mid-battle, Kuhn-folded drives capable of jump calculations beyond the Accord's limitations. What makes humanity dangerous in this moment isn't its brute strength, but its capacity for collective silence followed by disciplined execution. No leaks, no diplomats, no signs, just quiet, steady, terrifying progress. This is the first critical shift in tone for the story. Humanity goes from the underdog to the unknown. And in HFY tradition, it is in this unknown where fear begins to bloom. The galaxy, wrapped in the false comfort of Earth's silence, doesn't monitor the Terran systems. They don't send scouts or diplomats. And so they don't see the weapons being forged, the fleets being tested, or the generals being trained. By the end of Part 1, the reader understands that this isn't a story about humanity being defeated, about humanity being deliberately underestimated, and in the HFY genre, it's always the beginning of the storm. The setup is clear. The galaxy wanted Earth out of the conversation. Earth obliged. But in the shadows, Earth didn't die. Part 2 shifts the story from galactic misperception to human preparation. Following decades of silence enforced by the Containment Clause, Earth has become something of a myth to the rest of the galaxy, a formerly loud species that vanished. after being silenced by the Galactic Accord. This, however, is exactly what humanity wanted, to be ignored long enough to prepare without oversight. Interference or espionage. This section reveals the full extent of humanity's quiet defiance, while the galaxy assumed humanity was licking its wounds. Earth was operating under a shield of secrecy and electronic camouflage. Places like Luna, the Moon, and Mars, seemingly barren or inactive, are actually humming with concealed military development. Vast megastructures are built underground, beneath surface camouflage, or in unregistered systems, hidden behind manipulated gravity wells and scrambled stellar maps. The humans don't just build for defense. They don't even build for retaliation. They build for declaration. For a return to the galaxy that excluded them, their construction is methodical, not rushed. There's no desperation, just deadly resolve. Earth's military-industrial complex, no longer restrained by council treaties or diplomatic optics, begins pursuing the most controversial and forbidden technologies in galactic history. These include artificial gravity weapons devices that can crush or twist enemy ships with localized distortions, self-evolving artificial intelligence, capable of rewriting its own code in real time to adapt to threats, organic-based armor plating, able to regenerate damage and camouflage its energy signature, quantum-folded engine coils, which allow for faster than instantaneous travel between designated locations, bypassing accord-monitored lanes. In HFY fashion, this isn't just power, it's creativity. Human ingenuity is at its peak, unrestricted and guided by experience with centuries of war, innovation, and survival. This build-up continues quietly until one day, a suppression squad, likely a council force dispatched to monitor or intimidate, Earth arrives on the fringe of Terran space, but they don't find a weak, demoralized system. Instead, they find silence. No response to hails, no warnings. It's just an unmistakable, intentional delay. Then the first signal is broadcast. It's not frantic, not emotional, not hostile. It's just calculated and clear, stating, "You wanted us quiet. You were. Now we speak with 12,000 voices." This simple message reverberates through the interstellar network like a thunderclap. It's a statement of power, and more than that, it's a reminder. Silence was never weakness. It was the pause before the roar. This moment is the symbolic end of Earth's self-imposed silence. After decades of strategic retreat and technological build-up, they are ready to reintroduce themselves to the galaxy, not with diplomats, but with 12,000 warships. This marks a classic HFY turning point when humans stop reacting and begin asserting. And they do so in the most theatrical, coordinated, and unnerving way possible. No scattered assaults, no haphazard invasion, just synchronized deployment. The title of this part, Signals in the Dark, carries a double meaning, literally. It refers to the first official transmissions from humanity in decades. Symbolically, it hints that the humans have always been watching, waiting, signaling among themselves, while the rest of the galaxy looked the other way. What's especially notable is the way the Terran fleet's return is handled. There's no panic on the human side, no fumbling diplomacy. The response is pre-planned, and even poetic. Each ship's voice is a calculated part of a larger message. Humanity is unified. Humanity is coordinated. Humanity is back. The last few lines of this part hammered the point home. That was the last clear signal before the Council's long-range scanners blacked out. This suggests Earth's technological capabilities are already beyond the Accord's comprehension. The fact that the Council can no longer track their sensors is more terrifying than any threat. Earth could have stated directly, it implies that humanity has not only caught up, but surpassed, and worse still. No one knows what else they've been hiding. So in summary, Part 2 serves several major purposes. It confirms Earth was never dormant. They were strategically patient. It showcases the scale of Earth's re-entry. 12,000 ships, fully armed and declared. It raises the tension for the Council and the reader by showing the unknown is already here. It sets the stage for what comes next. Not where yet, but the unmistakable presence of power. This is the human way. If they're going to speak again, the whole galaxy is going to hear it. In Part 3, the silence is over and Earth begins its re-entry into the galactic stage, not with words or diplomacy, but with presence. The story opens with a shift from mystery to reality. Earth's fleet isn't theoretical anymore. It has arrived. The Terran Armada makes first contact with the wider galaxy at the edge of Council-controlled space. This is the first visible, undeniable sign that humanity didn't just survive exile, they thrived in it, evolved beyond it, emerged stronger than anyone imagined. The early signs of Earth's return are subtle but ominous. Trade route buoys begin to malfunction. Long-range scanners detect unidentifiable disturbances. Ghost signals flicker across sectors long believed to be empty at first. These are dismissed as anomalies, natural space noise, equipment decay, or harmless smugglers. The Council has grown complacent in Earth's absence and underestimates the signs, but soon. The Terran Armada reveals itself in full. Every ship, 12,000 of them, begins broadcasting its identity. Ship name, captain, system of origin, and most importantly, its Terran naval vessel TNV designation. It's a calculated move, part announcement, part psychological warfare. By not engaging in violence, and instead calmly introducing each ship one by one, Earth does something terrifying. It forces the galaxy to listen. Each introduction is a reminder that Earth was watching, building, and organizing while the galaxy slept. Over the course of 70 hours, this massive roll call loops across all Council frequencies. The broadcasts are impossible to ignore, and even more chilling, impossible to stop. This move demonstrates two core traits of HFY humanity. Coordination, all 12,000 ships speak in harmony, showing discipline and planning. Narrative dominance. Earth controls the pace and tone of this encounter. They don't fire, they don't demand, simply declare, "We're here, and you will acknowledge us." Next, the story zooms in on a specific event, the disappearance of the 7th Fleet of the Relari Combine. They are the first military force to approach the Terran fleet, likely assuming they can intimidate or intercept the rogue humans. They vanish without a single report. This isn't described as a battle. No explosions or gunfire are mentioned. Their total silence afterward suggests one of two possibilities: either they were completely destroyed with overwhelming force, or, even more unsettling, they were neutralized so swiftly and efficiently that they never had time to react. The next powerful image is of Station Harkos, where eyewitnesses first see the Terran fleet. They describe the sky as boiling with metal, a phrase that evokes not only the sheer scale of the fleet, but the unnatural, oppressive presence of Terran design. Unlike the sleek or organic curves typical of Accord ships, human vessels are shaped like weapon spearheads, angular wings, dagger-shaped hulls, designed to intimidate and dominate visually. This shows another key, each FY trait. Humanity doesn't just build to win, they build to frighten. Their ships aren't diplomatic, they're monuments to defiance. Then comes the most unsettling part. The human ships begin to speak. They don't transmit ultimatums. They don't threaten. They begin broadcasting names, one after another. Weapons, not tactics. No, just identities. This act of humanizing each ship has two effects. It humanizes the fleet ship, has a person behind it, a story, a place. It's not just a machine, it's a voice. It overwhelms the listener. One or two would be an annoyance. 12,000, repeated in order over 70 hours, becomes inescapable. The galaxy cannot turn away. They must listen to every name, every Terran identity, every declaration of return. This is Terran's psychological warfare at its peak, not through violence, but through the deliberate, unstoppable assertion of presence. By the end of Part 3, Earth hasn't fired a single shot, but they've already won the first battle. The battle for attention. The battle for narrative control. The battle for fear. Because when the sky turns human, and a fleet big enough to eclipse stars declares itself name by name, that's not war. That's a reckoning. Shifts the narrative focus from the dramatic, coordinated return of Earth's fleet to the Galactic Council's reaction, and it's one of shock, disbelief, and growing fear. After the overwhelming display in Part 3, the Terran Armada's presence has shaken the galaxy. What was once thought to be a silenced and irrelevant species has suddenly become the most dominant force in known space. And the Council, the ruling body that orchestrated Earth's exclusion, is caught completely off guard. This chapter opens with a sense of chaotic urgency. The Council convenes in an emergency session, something rarely done in galactic politics. A sign of just how seriously they're taking the reappearance of humanity. Accusations fly between species. Everyone is trying to deflect blame. It's demanding to know how Earth managed to build and deploy a 12,000-ship fleet without a single spy report, signal intercept, or early warning. The answer, of course, is a painful one. They didn't care enough. To watch in their arrogance, the Council underestimated humanity's silence. They assumed that Earth, once denied a seat, would either fade into irrelevance or collapse internally. The idea that humans could quietly outpace them was not only unimaginable light, was insulting. That failure of imagination is now costing them dearly. One of the key scenes in this part is the response from the Zerathi High Chair, a prominent and aggressive species. Furious and afraid, the Zerathi leader demands the Council call it what it is. This is an invasion. But just as panic peaks, Earth answers not with missiles, but with a face. A secure holographic feed activates mid-session, uninvited and uncuttable, showing a human representative, Nia Damar. Her appearance is calculated, confident, and designed to seize the room. She does not plead. She does not negotiate. She makes a statement. Her calm but iron-laced speech highlights key points. Earth was silent because it was forced to be. The galaxy feared humanity not because of its violence, but because of its passion, chaos, and audacity. Earth is not asking for reintegration or favor instead. She delivers one of the story's most iconic lines. We're not asking for a seat. We're bringing our own table. This is a masterstroke of HFY defiance. Earth isn't begging for inclusion. They're declaring relevance. The phrase is metaphorical but razor sharp. The message. You tried to exclude us from the game, so we made our own end, now we're winning. What follows this moment is deeply symbolic. Behind Nia, Terran Armada repositions itself into a Council-approved flight formation. A subtle nod that humanity understands all the rules of diplomacy, but chooses when and how to play by them. And yet, Terran ships form the shape of a closed fist. This visual imagery is powerful and intentional. In human culture, a fist represents solidarity, strength, and readiness to fight. The fleet's formation is not an act of war, but it is undeniably a warning. It says, we are not here to destroy, but we could. You know it. This part of the story serves as a dramatic pivot point. It's no longer about whether Earth will be acknowledged. Now the question becomes, what does Earth want? And the Council, for the first time in centuries, is no longer in control. The psychological dominance Earth displays in this part can be broken down into 4 strategic moves. Control of the narrative. Earth never once reacts. It initiates. From the fleet's broadcast to Nia's hologram appearance, everything is under Terran control. The Council is always a step behind. Projection of strength without violence. Earth doesn't need to destroy anything. It just shows up in such overwhelming numbers and with such precision that threatening action is unnecessary. That's a power only true superpowers possess. Diplomatic superiority. By adhering to formation rules and addressing the Council directly yet uninvited, Earth demonstrates that it understands the game of politics and simply chose to stop playing it on someone else's terms. Symbolic communication. The closed fist formation is visual storytelling at its finest. It's not just ships in space, it's a message from a species that has mastered both war and symbolism. By the end of Part 4, the galaxy realizes a terrifying truth. Earth didn't come to negotiate. Earth came to announce summary of part. For themes, diplomatic subversion. Earth bypasses all the traditional steps and forces the Council to acknowledge it on Earth's terms. Calculated reappearance. Humanity didn't just build a fleet. they built a stage. Fear and awe. Earth's return is terrifying not because of what they say, but because of what they could do, yet choose not to.
Power through presence.
In HFY fashion, Earth wields strength without ever needing to raise a hand, because everyone knows what would happen if they did. Serves as the climax and resolution of the story. After 4 parts of build up Earth's exile, its secret preparations, its dramatic re-entry into the galactic stage, and the panic it sparks, this final chapter is all about the reaction of the galaxy and the message Earth truly came to deliver. At the start of this section, there is a galaxy-wide pause. After the Terran Armada reveals its overwhelming force and Nia Damar makes her declaration at the Council, there is no retaliation, no fleet sent to intercept them, no diplomatic threats, just silence, but this time not the dismissive silence Earth once suffered. This is the silence of respect.
Of calculation?
And of fear. The shift is clear. The power dynamic has changed. Where once Earth was kept in check, now the galaxy holds its breath, waiting to see what humanity will do. And that uncertainty becomes humanity's greatest weapon. Because while their fleet looms large and their capabilities seem limitless, they do not attack. That restraint speaks volumes. It shows that Earth didn't come to destroy or conquer. Despite having every advantage to do so, they exercise complete control, proving they're not just powerful but mature. In HFY storytelling, this is a major milestone. Humanity isn't just a scrappy upstart or warlike deathworld species. They are now a galactic-level civilization, wielding power with the wisdom and patience of an empire. Then comes the unexpected twist. Earth's ships begin docking at major stations across Accord space. The very same stations that once denied them entry now receive them. And the humans don't come with demands, they come with gifts. This marks Earth's true return, not through intimidation, but contribution. They repair outdated or crippled alien tech with advanced human upgrades. Offer gravitic field stabilizers far beyond Accord engineering. Share organically adaptive medicine that stuns xenobiologists. Introduce quantum computing translators capable of bridging even the most complex linguistic barriers between species. This sudden, generous offering turns the Terran Armada from a threat into a legend. Because while the rest of the galaxy was obsessed with Earth's potential for destruction, Earth came prepared to show its potential for leadership. It's a classic HFY reversal. Humans were underestimated and locked out because of fear. Now, the galaxy understands that what they feared wasn't Earth's anger, it was Earth's capability. The fear wasn't wrong, but it was incomplete. One particularly symbolic line from this section summarizes the whole theme. We're not silent anymore. It's not said with arrogance or vengeance, said calmly, with finality. The idea is that Earth will never again allow itself to be silenced, dismissed, or diminished. They've made their case without firing a shot. Their fleet has spoken. For them, their technology has healed more than it has harmed, and their silence has been replaced with presence measured, intentional, and undeniable. What makes Part 5 so satisfying is that it completes Earth's transformation from the exiled to the expected, from the feared to the respected, from the silent to the central voice in the galaxy's future. The Terran fleet becomes a kind of spectral legend, parked in orbit above stations like a watchful guardian, occasionally moving in formations that send ripples through hyperspace, reminders of their strength, but mostly, they act as a stabilizing force. They don't conquer planets, they anchor peace. They don't demand apologies, they improve their worth, and all without ever raising a weapon. This restraint is important. It teaches the Council and every observing species a lesson. The most dangerous species is not the one that fires first, it's the one that doesn't have to. By the end of the story, the reader realizes that Earth's greatest revenge wasn't war, it was evolution. They were denied a seat, so they built something bigger than the table itself. And that's the essence of the title. They wanted us quiet. We showed up loud, armed, and 12,000 strong. The loud refers not just to firepower, but to impact. Earth's presence is deafening, not through violence, but through undeniable excellence. Every ship, every name, every coordinated move speaks louder than any weapon. Summary of themes. In Part 5, Power Through Restraint, Earth proves that true power lies in control, not chaos. Respect through contribution. By healing instead of harming, Earth reshapes its image and earns influence. Identity reclaimed. After decades of silence, Earth reasserts itself not as a threat, but as a pillar. Strategic HFY storytelling. The victory isn't won in a battle, it's won in the minds of those who feared them.